Warning: the show you are about to hear contains muscular, intelligent, and intelligible sexy men discussing B-movies, and will contain movie spoilers. Only one of the previous statements is actually true. You decide.
So light that fuse and let it burn. There's no escape, there's no return. Exploding heads and synthwave licks. We're deep in cult classic kicks. Low budget dreams that never quit. Every frame a misfit hit. This is the B-Movie Blitzkrieg Podcast. This is Duncan The Baz. The B-Movie Blitzkrieg Podcast.
Welcome back to the B-Movie Blitzkrieg Podcast, the only show brave enough to venture into a post-apocalyptic wasteland populated by mutant frogmen, radioactive deserts, and enough sexual innuendo to make an 80s teen comedy blush. I'm your host, Duncan McLeish, the Sultan of Schlock, the warlord of weird cinema, the last human male still capable of discussing Roddy Piper's movie with academic seriousness. The only man who's ever watched a film about mutant frogs and finally thought, you know what, this is a sensible approach to rebuilding civilization. Tonight, we are discussing, of course, Hell Comes to Frogtown from 1988, a movie that asks, what if Mad Max was less concerned with petrol and more concerned with reproduction? The world has collapsed. Human fertility is at an all-time low. Mutant amphibians rule the wasteland, and humanity's greatest hope for survival? A drifter named Sam Hell, a man so fertile that the government immediately places explosive devices around his most valuable asset and sends him on a rescue mission, as one does. Joining me tonight is a man who has spent years studying cinema and still wasn't prepared for what this movie had in store. He is the Duke of direct-to-video madness, the Count of cult cinema, the Amphibian authority, the only man to ever watch Hell Comes to Frogtown and ask, wait, are frogmen actually the reasonable ones here? He is, of course, the man, the myth, the legend, the Baz.
Guten Abend, meine sexy Liebchen, and you missed out SS Stormtrooper of Sex, Duncan. I had a whole thing all built in there, and then that came to me, and it's gone, so I will just say, Willkommen eine Froststadt.
Oh, Frostad?
German, Frosch. Apparently that's frog in German. And yet when I put in Welcome to Frogtown,
yeah,
it just came back as Willkommen in Frogtown. Yet when you put in frog, tells you it's Frosch and town is Stadt. So Google Translate can suck my hairy clangers.
I think in fairness to Google Translate, if you introduce an English word, they'll just say it in English.
Frog.
Yeah, I think if like Edinburgh, they'll call Edinburgh Edinburgh. They'll not call it fucking a German word.
But they have a German word for frog, it's Frosch. But yeah, so like if you just type in frog and go tell me that in German, it goes Frosch. If you type in welcome to Frogtown, it comes back as Willkommen in Frogtown instead of Frosch.
I get it. It's a place name, so it's good. We could go round and round, and you know what? I don't think either one of us would be smarter at the end of it. So let's not do that.
I'm annoyed already. I don't even want to do this anymore.
You are so annoyed already. I'm contractually obligated to ask, had you heard of this one before?
I'd heard the name, but beyond that, nothing. So, yeah, and like I didn't realise that Hell was the guy's surname.
Yes. You thought
it was dumb.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've obviously set things up in a tantalising moment here where we're going to hand it across in our next segment to the Baz, who's apparently going to be able to explain the ins and outs of this particular movie here. So you're just going to have to wait until we come right back to do it, right after this. And welcome back to a segment that I've called Hopping Through the Apocalypse. This is a plot synopsis as retold to you by the man, the myth, the legend, the Baz. Baz, please tell us what the hell happens in Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Don't want to, Duncan, but It's kind of why you pay me the top dollar, my friend.
$1.
This movie, wildly fertile former wrestler, tragically dressed dude, Rowdy Roddy Piper, who should be called Randy Roddy Piper in this film, to be quite honest. He's hired by the government to basically like just fuck his way across an irradiated post-apocalyptic wasteland in the hopes of repopulating America. Think like kind of Mad Max Thunderdome,
Yep.
but with more lube. He's accompanied on these travels by two very fine Aryan Amazons who are also in charge of him in a kind of very femdom type vibe. They set off to rescue some kidnapped fertile bitches from the clutches of the nefarious mutant frog people. That's right. It's actually a town of frog people. That's why it's called Frogtown. It's not anything fucking cleverer than that. There's a minor subplot about a traitor prison guard who's selling guns to the frogs in exchange for uranium, which is a big no-no apparently because the frog people ain't allowed guns. Apparently they're allowed to fucking purify and produce yellow cake uranium, but no guns. Please, no guns. And he wants this bomb, which apparently is going to tip the balance of power back in favour of men instead of women, because women, I think the idea, although it's not really fully explored, well, it should be, is that kind of the power balance has flipped since the apocalypse, and the fine bitches are in charge, and we're just basically seed for their womb, as it were, which I would be fucking fine with.
I was about to say, there's worse ways to go, man. There's worse ways to go.
I mean, this film, it could say something about that, but it doesn't.
No,
it just ends up in this misogynistic wet dream where the mullet-sporting good guy not only gets the girl in the end, but she's also totally cool with him just shagging every other woman on the planet because he's fertile. Do you know what I mean? I need to keep more for my bad in the next segment here because I've just turned the plot into all my problems with this film. Basically, that's what Hell Comes to Frogtown is.
That is pretty much like the movie in its entirety, all 1.5 hours of it. And it is no deeper than anything that Baz had said. So, with that in mind, we are going to take a bit of time here and we're going to talk about some of the top, the rad, the sad, the bad, then obviously mad. And the only way to do that is to take a break. So we're going to do that when we come back. We're going to be discovering all that nonsense right after this. And welcome back to a segment I've called Fertility, Frogs and Nuclear Nonsense. This is the top 5 rad, sad, bad, mad of Hell Comes to Frogtown. I'm just going to put it out there. Well, a little bit of bad. And that is the old chastity belt here. I mean, where to begin with this one, Baz? The government, in its wisdom, decides that the most fertile man on the planet must be protected at all costs, which is reasonable, right? Like he's like, okay. The chosen method of doing that is an explosive codpiece, which I'm just going to say less reasonable. I'm just going to say there are other ways to protect the valued goods here, and maybe by having explosives, which appear to be triggered from someone's like fucking earring, might not be the best way to go. So I'm just going to say that was a bad choice, a bad decision.
They also seem to be able to pass some kind of electric charge through his ball sack to keep him in line. That can't be great for the sperm count. You have to.
I can't even put my mobile phone in my pocket, Baz.
See, you dived straight into the bad, and I was trying to hold. I tell you what is a bit mad.
Go for it. I love mad.
It's the frog people thing as a concept. Why frogs? Do you know what I mean? Why not just weird mutant people like the Toxic Avenger or something like
Yeah.
that? Do you know what I mean? What was it happened to go just to fucking make them look like, you know, did somebody shag a frog? Is it like the AIDS thing with the monkey?
It's such a weird plot device. Out with the fact is, like, Frogtown could be anything, right? Like we mentioned, Thunderdome earlier on. Thunderdome could be anything. But in this movie, it doesn't act like you could replace this with Squirrel People. You could replace this with fucking Chihuahua Town. You do like,
Totally.
and it would have no impact at all on the fucking plot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that annoyed me. That was mad.
Mad. I'm going to say something here. You might come down on a different line here. I'm going with the rad as Roddy Piper. I do love Roddy Piper. I think he was an over-the-top wrestler, a very over-the-top wrestler who was very much into his... He would do some crazy, crazy fucking shit. He would say some crazy shit. And to me, that energy transfers over really well here. He has a bit of charisma about him. He has a bit of personality. And I will give him this. He commits to the role. And the role is frankly fucking stupid, right? And I think you might only be able to get a pro wrestler to actually commit to a role like this.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one in the back of his level of commitment to it.
Yeah.
It meant nothing to me. I'm not a wrestling fan, never have been. I was aware of the guy, but like we spoke beforehand.
Right, off air, I told you he wore a kilt and you didn't know that. And that was maybe one of his like most signature pieces.
Yeah, I had no idea of his persona or anything like that. So, yeah, I mean, he comes off as like a poor man's like Timu fucking Snake Plissken.
It's 100%. That's the one movie we didn't mention in any of our descriptions. There is a bit of the, we're going to send Snake Plissken into New York because he's the only renegade that can get it done. We're going to send Roddy Piper into Frogtown because he's the only man with working junk.
Working junk.
I mean, this kind of, you know what I mean? There is a huge bit, even the way it's set up with the explosives is, akin to Snake Plissken's, death virus that he's been given. So yeah, it's a great comparison actually.
Right. Back to my list then. So I do have a couple of rad. Cock teasing sexy soldier scientist bitches. You can't have enough of them in your film.
See, when she comes out after like basically berating him and shocking him and all the rest, and the first time he's like, and she comes out and she's like, I'm wondering if you're still hungry, as she is seductively taking off everything.
Yeah, totally.
Like it is, but she, like the bra she's wearing, right? One cup covers the nipple and the other one exposes it. And I just like what I was like watching it going, what in the Janet Jackson are we doing here? Like I was like, what? Why is this and it's military? It's like done in camo gear, and I'm like, why is this like service issued military bra?
Yeah. Well,
weird.
I did obviously I used the term there, cock teasing, and I don't use that as a throwaway term.
Oh God, no!
When I'm talking to him. But there is a bit, that scene you're talking about is then revealed to you that as part of her job is to make sure that he's still aroused. But is that really part of your job, Ken? Because you are like one of the chief scientist soldier women. You know what I mean? Is there, surely to God, there's somebody that maybe doesn't have the science background but is like cracking bangers that you could have roped in for that part of the job.
Just give him a magazine.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, look at this picture. Oh, that'll do it.
Do you want to know the only other rad thing in the film?
What is the only other rad thing in the film?
The froggy club owner's fez. I like the cut of his jib.
My rad is the final assault on Frogtown, which has everything. It's got fucking crossbows, it's got explosions. Piper is punching anything that even remotely looks at him. And it's a great action set piece, but it's on the best bit of the wasteland. This is where civilization actually looks like it's getting on okay. You know what I mean? Like, we'll wipe them out. None of this. If anything, this movie is an entire metaphor for government interference. This is a libertarian movie if ever there was one. Small government, Baz. That's what's required in this movie. Small government. So it hit me. I just get a feeling there's a barrage about to come here of just Baz fucking hated this and this. Hit me with it, Daddy. Oh,
A little bit, because there's nothing really sad in this film at all.
no.
Apart from maybe the script. Bad. There's some heavy rapey vibes in this movie at points.
Just a wee bit.
But again, I am a big advocate of in its timing and its place. You can't judge it with modern values.
I am so glad you said that, because I thought you were about to say I'm a big advocate for rape. And like
there's a
you
time
kind
and a
of took a
place
while
for
to
it.
get that out there.
Yeah, but looking back, it's kind of uncomfortable at points. But fucking 90% of films that came out at this time would have been the same.
Late 80s, yes. 100% yes.
The other main bad one, and I'm laughing at the little tagline I put in the end of it here. You'll know the scene. I mean, the dance of the three snakes.
Oh, Jesus,
And
yeah.
then I've just written, that was pretty fucking grim. Yeah, so the dance of the three snakes is fucking bit.
I don't know why it's in the movie either.
No.
It's one of those things that once you see it back, even if it read like a good idea, once you see the execution, you're like, we maybe cut this out.
Yeah, it's the same. There's the bit with all of the kind of the erotic dancing with the see-through. What's that there for?
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? It's naff.
Naff is a word we can use, because that one is not as harsh as where I thought you were going. So we will keep that word. Do you have anything else? Or are we ready to go on and talk about some quotes here, of which there's one or two that are worth a chuckle?
Nah, I don't really. You get the kind of vibe from what
Yes.
we've covered here. There's just lots of that. Do you know what I mean?
An hour and a half of that, Baz.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to jump on. We're going to come back and talk about quotes from this movie, which cringed, made us laugh. I don't know, somewhere in between, confused us, most likely, right after this. And welcome back to a segment I've called Quotes That Probably Started as a Dare. This is quotes from the movie Hell Comes to Frogtown. I have a few. And you probably have a few. And
I've got one or two.
sometimes we end up having the same ones. So I will go first. And if it's on your list, then I would recommend that you go second. And then that way we're not... Because there's a couple of really good kind of, that's a funny line amongst... The one I've got here is, this man is carrying a loaded weapon, and MedTech on provisional government authority now claims it.
That's my very first one.
Sorry.
It has to be stated that comes just after you find out he's got somebody pregnant.
Yeah. It's a loaded weapon.
My favourite one, and this did actually make me kind of chuckle out loud. Yeah, we're going to do something about it. We're going to get them out, then you're going to get them pregnant. I just thought that was great. Yeah, we'll sort this out. We'll just get them out, you shag them. Right, and that's what I'm saying. They should just have him focused on that.
Yes, that should be his mission.
Not you're going to go and get them out.
Yes.
Anyway, I regress.
Baz's went very kind of African safari here, where he's kind of like, the male lions do fuck all, the women bring the things to the men. And I like where you're going with that one. That doesn't sound misogynistic at all, Baz. What about eat lead, froggies? There's a line in this one. I love how even in a post-apocalyptic world, there could still be a kind of quasi-racist term for frog people.
Yeah.
There's
a lot of that real kind of 80s action movie thing, like eat lead. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I really liked flat lips, which is a racist slang that the frog people have for normal humans. I thought that was quite good.
Someone has made that. What about this? Hey, you try making love to a complete stranger in a hostile mutant environment. See how you like it. I love how you put hey, you try making love. Yeah, I'm sure that's
Yeah.
what you're doing, Sam Hell. She's making love one woman at a time. That's a whole lot of loving. It's a whole lot of loving.
There's a particular line that's delivered by one of the frogs when they're talking to Sam, and he's just like, I've got to tell you, you're one weird dude. He's the reptilian boy.
Have you seen my explosive codpiece? Look at this. I've no more. I've literally done all three of my lines.
Yeah, I've spent my load, as it were, Duncan.
Well, I mean, the next segment...
There's lots of cheesy, terrible lines in this film, but some of them you're just like, oh, shut up.
We could be here all day just doing that.
What I mean?
And because we've carefully worked our way through this one, the next segment will be super short because it's plot holes in the movie, of which me and Baz have decided there are none. Or is there? Find out right after this. And welcome back to a segment that I've called Things We Can't Explain. And I don't think we ever will. This is plot holes in this particular movie. Baz, dare I even ask, did you manage to unpick a plot hole or two from the movie that is Hell Comes to Frogtown?
I certainly did. And the first one that leapt out at me, Duncan, is when they are, so Sam Hell and the eponymous Amazon sexy soldier scientist women are sort of leaving the safe zone, if you like, to head across the irradiated wasteland to Frogtown, and they have to go through like a border checkpoint, which is just like a garden shed with one of those like, border crossing barrier bits, and there's three guys. There is miles of open desert on either side. You could have driven round that, because it gets all arsey intense at the border crossing bit. Do you know what I mean? Like, you could have fucking taken a mile out your day and nobody would ever have known. Do you know what I mean?
are literally making a Trump-esque argument here for building a wall, Baz. So let's
Possibly.
let's do I mean, the obvious one, what in anything within Sam Hell's character genuinely thinks the authorities should trust him? You know what I mean? Like, there's like, and it's the same with, like, you've already mentioned it, it's the escape from New York scenario of the government is going to do a deal with the devil here to get it through, but they want so much from this man. Like, and also, like, the biggest one, let's be honest with it, the biggest, like, glaring plot hole here is, I'm fairly sure this is not how genetics work. I'm fairly sure if the same father fathers many, many, many children, I know the Bible would have us believe that might be the case, Baz, but I'm just going to say that, you know, I just think that might not work.
It could be problematic down the line, Duncan.
Could be. This is how...
we all know about the villages in Wales, right?
Yeah,
so.
well, I was thinking webbed feet, is that how we ended up with the frog people? But that's maybe giving it too much credit. That's my two. What do you have?
So there's a gun-dealing bad guy.
Yes.
And he manages to run away after literally getting a samurai sword right through his body. Like, clean through, pokes out the other side.
Yep.
Up he gets, and he's off like fucking Linford Christie.
Just walked off, Baz.
90s reference there for anybody.
Love Linford Christie.
And the other one that I have, and it's not really a plot hole, it's just something that annoyed me. It's like, why do some of the mutant people, right, look exactly like a large humanoid frog? And other ones look like the guitarist from Ghost. That's quite the mystery. Isn't it?
Never to be explained, Baz. Like I say, and like things we can't explain, and we never will. We're gonna jump out this.
Papa Emeritus or whatever.
You recall for things that you've not touched in like 10 years is surprisingly fucking great.
Yeah, well, if he's listening, there's a parody t-shirt he could knock up.
He's
like
done
that.
everything else.
And I want my cut, you weird Swedish cunt. Trademarked. It's on the radio now. Trademark.
Yeah,
Boom.
trademark today, the day of our recording, which
Cut me
is
in.
15th of June, 2026. We're going to jump out. When we come back, we are actually just going to give this movie
When
a
we
grade.
come back, Baz will be standing with a copy of today's newspaper.
All that and more right after this. And welcome back to a segment that I've called Rated F for Frogs, Fertility, and Fallout. Baz, I'm going to kick us off here because I need to get it out of my system. I give this movie a 2 out of 5. My memory, being as hapless as it is, would have probably, before coming to this, I was like, this is a solid 3.5. And I've now experienced it. And guess what? It is not a 3.5. It's a 2.
No.
What about you?
I've come in bang on that as well, Duncan. I gave this a 2.5. And I've written a wee note here. To me, this film, it sits in this weird grey area, right, where it's too weird to be classed as a kind of straight up action movie, right? But it's also too kind of straight to be classed as like a weird, wacky, fun head wreck of a movie.
Yeah.
It's just in this annoying little grey area, and you're like, that, fucking make up your mind. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Either just have an action film here or make it this mental post-apocalyptic, shit house. Have fun with it. And they don't. They just seem to kind of sit there in the middle.
I mean, if anything, this movie makes you once again appreciate how fine that balancing act is when you watch a movie like Buckaroo Banzai, which is
yeah, totally. That's a very good example, actually. Yeah.
There's reasons movies like that become like the cult classics that movies like this don't.
Yes, that's the perfect example. That was a film, right? Just fucking run with it.
Yeah,
let's
more crazy the better.
Ideas there's nothing's too crazy. Let's just do it all. And it's, I don't know, just the writing, I think, here didn't have that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah.
There we go, ladies and gents. So not scoring as high as we thought it would be, but never fear, because the Blitzkrieg is here. We are going to tell you what we're doing next time, right after this. And that's a wrap on Hell Comes to Frogtown from 1988, a movie that proves no concept is too ridiculous if you've got enough commitment, enough practical effects, and a leading man who is willing to treat every insane moment with absolute sincerity. A massive thanks as always to the Baz, who somehow survived 90 minutes of mutant, amphibian politics and reproductive warfare, emerging only mildly traumatized. If you've enjoyed the show, subscribe, rate and review, and spread the word across Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Every download helps us continue our mission to uncover the weirdest, wildest, and most gloriously misguided movies ever committed to film. And with that in mind, next time we are leaving the wasteland behind and heading to the furthest reaches of deep space. A future where gigantic interstellar freight haulers cruise the cosmos, where cyborg bounty hunters will roam the galaxy, and where one truck driver discovers a conspiracy involving stolen artificial organs, murderous robots, and of course, Dennis Hopper operating the maximum Dennis Hopper. Yes, we're about to get wonderfully strange. We're going to be talking Space Truckers from 1996, a movie that basically says to you, dear listener, what if Alien, Star Wars, and Smokey and the Bandit got locked in a shipping container and launched into orbit? Expect outrageous production design. Expect cosmic chaos. Expect questionable Scottish accents. And that's not from me and Baz. And expect a cast that genuinely is shocked by the movie they found themselves in. So until then, keep your Geiger counter handy, keep your eye on suspicious amphibians, and remember that here at the B-Movie Blitzkrieg, the bizarre meets the brilliant, one B-movie at a time. Baz, say goodbye to our listeners, please.
Guten Nacht, meine sexy Liebchen. And if you take one thing away from this film, remember, we're just normal men. We're just innocent men. Blitzkrieg!